Hello. Showing you all of the different pieces today to put together kombucha for the first time. Hi, I'm Emily, and I think this might be my first Facebook Live video. I've done a couple others in different places, and they're on my YouTube. But today I had told a couple people that I would show them how to get started with kombucha, so I am going to do that. I don't know if most of you know what it is. I drink kombucha pretty often to keep my gut healthy, and my husband and I also take probiotics every evening to make sure that, again, that we're keeping our gut healthy. The other funny thing is, you have to have Starbucks or some other yummy things periodically too. So everything in balance. But if you're interested in starting a kombucha, the first thing that you're going to need is SCOBY. So I'm going to show you my little SCOBY sample that I have. And I have quite a bit of this, so I'm willing to share these with people in the Nashville area to get started. This is the main thing that you need to get your kombucha brew going. If anybody's ever done something like brewing a beer, I have not done that. I understand it's kind of similar. So I have my jar that I use for my kombucha all the time. And I've already got my starter liquid in here and my SCOBY. And again, if I were to hand somebody some SCOBY, I would also give you some of my starter liquid because it's pretty hard to start a kombucha without it. So yesterday, what I did is I boiled and made black tea, boiled water until I was hoping to kind of clean it. I normally use distilled water, but I think I put 8 large tea bags in here and made black tea, and then added a cup of sugar. And then I let that sit on the stove with the lid on it all night long till it is cool to touch. You cannot put hot liquid into your SCOBY or it will kill it. You want to make sure everything is room temperature. And then pretty much anytime I handle any of my jars, the SCOBY, the tea, I use white vinegar to kill any of the bacteria that we do not want to be in the kombucha. So I've already washed my hands with the vinegar. There was vinegar in this before I put the SCOBY in it, and I rinsed this jar with white vinegar before I got started. So made the tea last night. It is now cool. I have this sitting ready to go, and here's some black tea with sugar already in it that I pulled out of the pot. So I just add sugar sweetened tea to my SCOBY and my starter. And I do not fill the jar up all the way. I want to give the SCOBY room to grow. Basically, in about 7 to 8 days, I'll have another layer of SCOBY on top, and that is what you want. You do want SCOBY to continue to grow. See how it's kind of floating in here? I promise it's not as gross as it looks or sounds. And then I cover the top of the jar with a coffee filter or a clean cloth, and then I take a rubber band and put it around, and then I stick it into a cupboard that we have here. I try to keep it dark and away from any smoke, any cooking, anything that you would think that you would not want it to have in your kombucha. So I keep it in a cupboard. We have one area that my husband's allowed me to keep 2 huge 1-gallon jugs, and we don't put anything else in there with it, so it stays dark and is able to brew over the week. And I check it periodically and just make sure that the SCOBY is growing the way you want it to. So that's pretty much the basics of how to get started. Somebody just asked me what a SCOBY is. And I actually have this really great book that I would recommend, the Big Book of Kombucha. My husband got this for me for my birthday this year. But SCOBY is, and here it says, the symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So again, that's something that you definitely need to have to build your kombucha. So again, I let my kombucha sit for about 7 to 8 days, and then what I did yesterday is empty it, put it in new jars, and I added some raspberry puree because I'm looking for some raspberry kombucha, and then you seal those jars completely so no air gets in them, and let that sit for about 6 days so it gets fermented and fizzy, and I love it. I drink about a cup of it every day, oftentimes in the evening, and again, it has made us feel so much better. So if you're interested, if you're in the Nashville area, I do have some extra SCOBY that I'm willing to share, and I'm also willing to come over and help you get this started. So yeah, there you go. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks. I hope you guys have a great Saturday.